everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, since we've had the Riviera back on the road, things have been great. One of the biggest downfalls is there really isn't a lot of parts available for these cars as far as performance upgrades and whatnot. And once we put the LS motor in this thing, we lost probably a good, and changing the air conditioning and some stuff out, we probably lost a good 120 pounds off the nose of this car. And so it sort of had a bit of a nose high stance, if you can see. So we have gone from this to this, and I'm going to show you how we did it. The first step involved removing the factory shock and coil spring, which is no easy task. All right, so we haven't been all that pleased with the way this tuna boat has been handling. So it's way too soft and floaty, and there really isn't anything as far as aftermarket support. So while these are pretty beefy springs, this is a heavy car. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace those Monroe shocks that have probably seen better days with some Viking coilovers. And so got this thing pulled apart. Now we need to modify the lower mount so we can mount the coilover, because now instead of this holding the weight of the vehicle, this is gonna hold the weight of the vehicle. So we gotta do some modifications, and we're probably gonna have to open up the top of this a little bit. Let's see how it goes. All right, step one in when you don't have a coilover kit that's readily available, is trying to match up your shock with your existing shock. And so as you can see, this is fully extended, and I have moved the suspension through travel. We're not gonna bottom out. And so what this is gonna use is a spring that mounts something like this. So it's gonna fit up in the frame up here, and down here, it's going to have our collar adjusters that you can move up and down to adjust the ride height. So the trick's gonna be here in the top of the control arm where the height adjusters are gonna be. I don't know how much we're gonna need to open this up till we get there. All right, so we've got the lower mount kind of figured out. So this one will be fixed. This one will be a floating mount. And I did have to clearance this opening a bit. This will actually flatten. This angle will actually, the shock will rotate as the suspension compresses. So it'll give us more clearance back here. I'm not sure where the ride height is gonna land, where these adjusters are gonna be. They may go up, they may go down. Right now, there's still a little bit of slack, but I won't be able to figure that out until full weight of the vehicle is on the shock. All right, so we got the coilover all bolted in. So if anybody's interested in doing this conversion, give me a shout out and I can set you up with the correct shocks from Viking and the right spring rates and everything involved to do this. As you can see, just very mild modifications to be done. You can see we got proper amount of clearance around it. We'll see as it moves up, but it should be just fine. So we're gonna get the spindle all bolted on, do the other side, and then get this thing sitting on its wheels and see if we can get the height set. All right, so we got the front end all together and kind of a preliminary set. So we were at 28 3/4 before. Now we're just at like 27 1/4. And before I do any type of an alignment or anything on this, I like to let them sit on the springs for maybe a couple of days or drive it. The springs will probably settle maybe 1/2 inch. So as you can see where the tire kind of is on the fender lip, we got kind of a similar reveal. So this is about the ride height we're gonna shoot for. All right, now we move on to the rear of the car. And so we've got the similar shock as the front, but it's not a coilover, it's a smooth body shock, but it is double adjustable compression and rebound. And as you can see, dimensions wise, it's identical to the factory one. we've got a T-bar. There's some assembly required on these. So this shock's actually going to mount this way. This is the top. That's the bottom. And the T-bar goes in there. And so this thing should mount up just like factory. So let's get one all mocked up. All right, so we got the rear shocks mounted in. It's kind of a pain in the ass. The adjusters are pointing from the inside out because the wheel would be in the way. It'd be kind of hard to get to them. So anyways, they mount up on the lower, just like the stock shock does. Same with the upper. We're talking the same mounting, fighting light here. The T-bar up here, and getting these bolts and nuts and things through here it wasn't really easy. But anyways, we didn't change the spring rate in the rear. We might address that at some point, trying to find some aftermarket coils that are stiffer, because these are already fairly stiff because it's such a heavy car. So from a different application like a Chevelle or something, might be something we do. But we're gonna see if just the shocks can really help this thing. We're not really trying to do any serious performance modifications to this thing, so. All right, so I wanna let you know, we got the shocks installed, put a couple miles on this thing, and oh my goodness, what a big difference. So if anybody's wondering why we didn't go coilovers in the back, well, that was gonna require some significant modifications. The upper shock mount isn't really strong enough, and it takes some reinforcement to do. And like I said, the spring rate on this car is pretty okay for just a cruiser. It's really just the shock valving that is just so terrible on this thing. And having adjustable shocks where you can adjust the compression and the rebound, you gotta make sure you get a double adjustable shock, is really vital. It just totally transformed this car. And also doing a front end alignment on this thing and getting a little bit more caster in the front end. I was only really able to get 3 degrees of caster in the front end. I would have liked to have seen maybe 5, but the upper control arms wouldn't allow me to do that. I just wasn't able to. With the camber adjustment, it wasn't gonna allow me to do that. I ran out of bolts on the upper control arms, but such a big difference, man, such a big difference. So next, I think we're gonna try to maybe address the steering box. We tried putting a Borgeson box in here, and with the way the LS swap is and the exhaust manifolds and on the steering box, it wasn't gonna fit. So we knew we'd need to adjust that. The steering's a little light, it's a little slow, but the handling on this car and the ride quality is, believe it or not, going stiffer is better. So the factory shocks have no compression in them. So when they compress, it's very easy, but they're very stiff on the rebound, which gives you kind of a weird disconnected feeling on the car. So anyways, this was a fairly straightforward, one of the easier things that we've done on this car, and it worked out really well. So anyways, we'll have more videos for you. Thanks for watching.